Let's jump to our last icon, which is Hogwarts. I'm gonna grab the artboard tool and add another artboard. And of course, save my file. I'm gonna follow the same way of thinking, using very basic shapes in order to create Hogwarts. It's gonna be an abstract one, we're not gonna go into much detail, just like the basic ones. And I'm gonna make it symmetrical, so I'm not gonna bother at the moment creating the other side. I'm just gonna clone it later on. I'm gonna create a triangle as well, so we can use the polygon tool that we talked about. Click anywhere in the canvas, reduce the size to just 3, and here we go. I'm gonna color it black as well from the color panel. Let's make it a bit shorter. I'm using these little handles that we have within the shape that allow me to make the corners nice and round. I'm gonna clone this column here, make it smaller so I can have it at the back as well. Right click, arrange center back. I'm gonna make it bluish so we can actually see the difference. I'm gonna add also the column in the middle. I'm gonna select those two shapes, highlight the one that I want to keep in exactly in the same position as it is, and then align the other in the middle. Right click, arrange center back to send this column at the back. So let's make it a bit taller. I'm gonna try to make it look a bit more as a castle. Align panel again, distribute spacing. That's perfect. I'm gonna group them so we can easily edit them later on if we want to. Already it starts feeling quite interesting, yeah? We perhaps need like a little door and some windows. So I'm gonna duplicate this rectangle here, Alt and Shift key, and then right click, arrange, bring to front. With my wide arrow, I'm going to select just the top corners, holding the Shift key down to select the second one and make them round. That feels quite nice as a door. I'm going to double check that it's aligned. Yes, it's perfectly aligned there. Let's add also some windows. I'm going to follow exactly the same technique to do so. So I'm going to create a little rectangle. And then with my wide arrow, I'm going to select the top corners. And I'm gonna go ahead and make them round. Something like this. I'm holding Alt key in order to move it further, and you can see also how the smart guides are helping me to position my objects nicely based on the different axes that they are going through them. I'm gonna make it black. So we can see that. It should be centered because the smart guides help me, but let's double check. Yes, it is. Make sure it's the same distance between those three. Group them. Make sure that they're in the center of this black shape there. I want to make it slightly smaller, I feel like. I'm gonna push those ones there and squeeze my shape and recenter them. I'm selecting all shapes here, clicking on the black shape once again, and center align everything else. Let's grab those shapes now, duplicate them with Alt key and dragging, releasing the click, right click, and then transform and the reflect option. Reflect vertical, yes, that's perfect, and here we go. We just need to hold Shift key down and drag them so we can perfectly position them on the other side. Right click, arrange, center back. I'm gonna just make this a bit up, I would say. Again, as I said, like tweaking here and there till you get your final outcome. That feels quite well, so I'm just gonna group it, right click group, align it to the artboard, scale it, holding the Shift and Alt key down. And here we go, Hogwarts is also there. You can tell any kind of narrative using simple tools and techniques in order to create the corresponding illustrations to tell the story. Last step remaining is to bring in some color, make them a bit happier. What I'm gonna do is select all of them and then object and then ungroup a few times so I can easily then select each of the parts and recolor them. We didn't talk too much about color yet, but what you can do if you are having a bit of struggle to find straight away your colors here is to use some libraries. Color libraries are under the swatches, and then you click on this three little books and you can select which library you want to access. In this case, I already created my own libraries, which I'm going to talk you through the course later on how to do so. I created a library called Harry Potter. Let's go ahead and use those colors to recolor our work. I'm going to grab the glasses. I think I'm going to make them a bit bright. Let's add a bit of background first of all. I feel like I don't really like the white background. Since Harry Potter is not like a really bright story, it feels a bit darker and more mystery-wise, so something like this can work. And of course the thunder should be something in yellowish color. I'm gonna copy and paste on the next artboard the background. You can go edit, paste, and if you click paste in place, it's gonna paste it exactly where it was, but on the next canvas. Right click, arrange, send to back. And I'm gonna do the same also for the next canvases, so I can have the same background in all of them. And let's go ahead and color a bit also the other canvases that we have. So we need something bright again to make it stand out. Red and yellow were the colors of Harry Potter, so I'm just gonna use yellow as a secondary. Let's color the little train. Let's grab all of the wheels. I'm gonna create a group of these gray wheels so I can easily grab them. And another group with the black parts. And I'm gonna select the different shades of colors. It's already started getting way better than before, right? Let's color also Hogwarts. I guess all of the windows should be the same color, so I'm gonna group them. And castle and the top parts, so I'm gonna select all those objects, hold shift key down and click again on those ones that I wanted to select. Right click and group, and selecting this castle now that came at the front with the background, and right click, arrange, send to back. They're at the back, so I'm gonna make them darker than the front ones. The door is getting kind of hidden here, so I'm gonna make them black. The windows are not as round as I wish they were, so I'm gonna double click to get within the grip, grab all of them with my right arrow. I'm gonna just grab the tops and squeeze them so they're a bit more round. And this door, I really want it to be a nice arch, so let's amend it slightly. Amending the shapes is gonna be till the very last minute in order to get everything nicely balanced. Even this part, I feel like it should be a bit wider like this. Already the icons feel quite well, right? They are really interesting. I'm gonna grab all the backgrounds and go to Object and then Lock Selection. And I'm gonna select now the individual parts in order to group them again to create the 4 different icons. You can further work on editing the colors or the shapes and so on. At this point, I'm just gonna stop editing and I'm just gonna align all of my objects to the artboards here at the center. This should be, since we aligned them before, but just in case. Detail is really important when you're creating. I'm gonna go ahead and balance them a bit. I feel like this should be a tiny bit smaller and the castle should be as well a bit smaller. Perhaps the train a tiny bit as well. Holding Shift and Alt key down in order to scale up and down my shapes. I'm gonna go Object, Unlock All, and my last step would be to align my canvases. So I'm gonna grab the artboard tool and I'm gonna select all 4 canvases by holding the Shift key down and clicking on them. And I'm gonna align them using the Align panel and the Distribute Spacing icon. So yes, you can also align your canvases, not only your shapes. And here we go. The 4 icons are ready, telling the story of Harry Potter getting ready to go to Hogwarts using the gate in King's Cross, taking the train to arrive to Hogwarts. I'm very much looking forward to see your stories told with just 4 icons. Please feel free to share them on the forum. In the next course, we will explore colors as well as patterns.